Okay, so this is my post-game Penn State Maryland recap. So, Penn State won 38-14. Uh, Overall, it was a very good win for this team. I was honestly very surprised in how they won. I really didn't think that they were going to win this game because all week I had a bad feeling about this game. I picked them to win, but I was like, I don't know, because I thought Maryland was pretty good. Not anymore. This Maryland team did not look good. I didn't watch the game. I saw a lot of the recap, and I watched the full game today. I was out of town again, and I didn't watch the game. I should have, but I couldn't. Um, and I was listening to it on the radio for a little bit, and then I had to get going. And this team, it took them a little while to put this Maryland team fully away, but I could tell from when they got it to 17-7 that this team wasn't gonna let up. I had a feeling that it was a blowout just because Maryland wasn't getting anything going on defense, and Penn State just seemed a lot more prepared and better suited for this matchup. I think at the end of the day, I think Penn State showed up and they were ready to play. Penn State had a lot of these games last year too, um, where they beat Indiana by 22, and Indiana's not a bad team. They beat Illinois by 39 nothing, and they beat who did they beat? They beat Rutgers by 25. So those teams are teams that they should beat. I have to throw Maryland in there. I think Maryland isn't quite as good as what people think. Um, I think that this team is was way overrated by how soft their schedule was. Because when I look at Maryland, I mean they got Minnesota, Michigan State, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. Ohio State, Michigan, and Nebraska are losses, and those other four games, I think they're going to win two of them. I'm thinking Maryland's going 6-6. I mean, how can I say something better than that? I think that this Maryland team is okay, but I think that they're not quite there for with Penn State yet. As for Penn State, the defense looked a lot better. Now they did struggle tackling a little bit, as I saw in the game, but they just seem very very good, very well prepared, and they just seem like they wanted it more, which is a surprise. I saw James Franklin pumping his team up. Um, if you want to call it a rivalry, you can. I'm not gonna call it a rivalry because I think that um I just don't think it is. It's a rivalry for recruiting, but if Penn State gets back to how it used to be, back to its 90s form, 2000s form, I think that this where they're winning 9 games at 9, 10, 11 games every year. I think that this team will be ahead of Maryland every year. I mean, maybe occasionally you'll see a year where Maryland gets them, but I think that Penn State's ahead of Maryland right now. You can't say that the head coach is bad at Maryland because you got to give him some time to produce his players. Right now, Maryland has a good recruiting class. They're like 2 spots nationally ahead of Penn State. Penn State's, I think, 20, Maryland's like 18. But still, I think that this team, it's going to take a couple years, and I don't see Maryland getting developed anyway. The offense played very well. The Penn State offense played very, very well. Barkley had a great day. The first time I've really seen him go off this year, like just run, run, just keep running. I mean, he averaged 6 something per carry. He had many long runs, and he had a game-changing sequence when he just kept, where he got like 20 yards on 2 different plays to make it 24-14. Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, damn it. Because I'm like 17-14. I'm like, they're back in this game. And I thought that we were way beating them, and we came down and we just took it all out of them. 24-14, they were gassed. Our defense held them up in the second half, and our offense did enough to get the game to win. Barkley with 202 yards, that's just crazy. But we didn't even get to Godwin, but we didn't need to pass to win, which was a little bit of a surprise. I'm surprised about this game, but I think it was because people overestimated Maryland, and then I went with them. A lot of people picked Maryland, so all those people who did pick Maryland, well, look at the score now. To all those people that played Maryland and who picked Maryland and Minnesota, look at it now. We're 4-2, we won. To all those people that said we would be 3-9, look at it now. We're 4-2. I'm not saying we're gonna be 10-2 and we're gonna be in the top 10 and we're gonna win the Big Ten, but I think that this Penn State team's a very young team, and I think that they have a good future. You look at they're gonna have McSorley back next year. They're gonna have Gesicki. They're gonna have Godwin, Blacknall, and Hamilton. They're gonna have Nelson at offensive line. They're gonna have Mahone, Bates, and McGovern. Guy is gone, but still, that's 10 of their 11 that they're returning. This team's going to be good next year, I think. I'm really excited for next year. With the rest of the season, we're halfway through. This Penn State team's not going to beat Ohio State. They're not. There's no chance. This team's defense isn't there yet. I don't care that they held Maryland to 14. This team will be lucky if they hold Ohio State under 40. And if they do, this game might be a lot closer than what it is if the offense can show up. But they're not beating Ohio State. They should be able to take care of Purdue and Rutgers. That'll give them 6 wins and 3 losses with the loss to Ohio State. And then I think the other 3 are kind of toss-up games. I was saying 6-6, 7-5 before the Minnesota and Maryland game, because I expected them to lose one of those. So now I'm saying 7-5, 8-4. I mean, for all I know, this team could run the table and be 9-3, because they could be 9-3. ESPN FPI picks them to go 9-3. They're favored to win 9 games this year. And I don't think that's out of reach. I think they can do it. That'll probably put them ranked, and if they can win the bowl game, they'll be 10-3, and they'll be inside the top 20 probably, which will be a great season for Penn State despite how it started after September. But I don't see that happening right now. I see 7-5, 8-4. But I learned that Penn State's a pretty good team. I think I learned that Maryland still isn't quite there. I think Maryland's going to have to fight for a bowl game. And I think McSorley's one heck of a player. Except that he's kind of small. And I also learned that don't go near Joey Julius. I think it's stupid if you do it. It's stupid plays. And it's just dumb. But you can go after Joe Julius because it only hurts other teams. So just tackle him and murder him, and then you'll be out of the game. So good. That's a wrap for this video. I'll be out.